many of you have, how many of your clubs have a Dream It Be It program going? Awesome. That is great, because it's such a vital part of the education and empowerment of the girls. Because, I mean, the quick thing is, I was in SI Elko, and when we started ours out, we didn't have any of the resources. They said, hey, this is coming down the line, we jumped on it. One of the things we did was a vision board, because that is so interactive with the girls. And a couple of them left their little vision boards in the room. They didn't want to take them home. And on them, all we saw was, I just want to be a good mommy.
Wow.
And that breaks your heart, because you don't know, is that all they've been told they can do? Or do they not have good parental role models? So this is a vital program for our girls. And that's why we do it, because it does help those out in the community. Okay. All right. It helps the girls in secondary to face obstacles in their future success. It provides the girls with access to professional role models, career education, and resources to end up living their dreams. The topics covered in the curriculum include identifying career opportunities, setting and achieving goals, and knowing how to move forward after setbacks or failures. Karen Holly did print out the curriculum for you guys, and I brought it up from Jerome. That way you guys have it. There's gonna be a few extras. If you guys want to take an extra one with you, if you have to, please do, because that way you have it. If you have a committee, you've got more to share, and you don't have to make the copies.
Where are they? I'm sorry.
They're on the chairs. So, the curriculum-based program. Has it changed? It is a curriculum-based program, and as part of the curriculum-based program, Dream It Be It addresses the topics such as exploring careers, achieving goals, rising above obstacles, turning failures into success, which is a big one, because a lot of girls, once they fail, that's it, they're done. Because that's how they've been taught. You failed, you're not going any further. And they need to know how to create action plans for realizing their dreams. Our innovative Dream It Be It curriculum was designed based on rigorous research. So they did a lot of research to see what would be the best thing to help the girls. They interviewed experts, caring mentors, and that will help the girls. I mean, just because you do the program, you don't have to tell the girls bye after they're done. You can meet up with them, you can email with them, give them an email that they can contact you with, because a lot of them may have questions. One of the things that is really heartwarming is when you're out in the community and a girl brings her mom up to you and she goes, Mom, this is my Dream It Be It gal. And they thank you because they've seen a difference, a positive jump in their kid's attitude. And mentorship, that's the mentorship in it. It's so important to have that mentorship.
Although the working with youth requirements about not corresponding personally and not driving them anywhere and all that inhibits that kind of.
You can set up a separate Dream It Be It email that the girls can use, and that way you're not personally doing it. That's what a couple of the clubs I know of have done. Yes, you have guidelines and working with youth. You don't want a one-on-one, hey, here's my cell phone number.
Yeah.
No, give it a club email that they can contact you on, so that it is not that one-on-one, and that way you stay in those guidelines and those boundaries. Because yeah, we do have to be careful working with youth, because we want the youth to feel safe, and we want all of us to know that we've done it the right way. So these are the reasons we do it. These are what the girls, and these come back from the girls' surveys. This is what they tell people. This is what it's done. And again, 23. These are the resource links that these will be on the website, but these are links that will help you. SIA has all kinds of the stuff on the SIA website. Is it working again? And it helps to facilitate and get you the program stuff you need. You do need those consent forms. Those are very important, especially if you are going to do any publicity with the girls. We tend to tell you, take a picture of the back of them. Because even though they might say, yeah, you can take my picture, and the parent signs off on it, because it has to be the parent, there could be something out there that you don't want their front to do. So we always took a picture from the back of the room. And that way, you're showing the impact, you're showing how many girls you have, but you're not showing the girls.
If they're foster parents, the foster parent could start it?
I haven't done this in a couple of years. I think you'd have to double check with the foster system, to make sure that is, because the foster parent is a guardian. So if they are in the system, if the foster system signs off on it, you should be able to. Because there are a lot of clubs that go straight for foster kids. There are a lot of clubs that will work with youth that are on probation and parole. So you have to, every county and every state is different. Work with yours to make sure you hit the girls that are targeted and needed, and you have everything, all your ducks in a row, so you can do it. All right, let's see. This is not my computer. So we're good. You need to make sure that you support your club conducting this the right way, and you do it in a safe way for the girls, and that also protects us. Because there are always gonna be those times that something's gonna come up, and you're gonna say, that's not what happened, but that might be how the girl interpreted it. So you wanna make sure the girls are protected. I'm gonna say the youth are protected, because some counties want boys to be allowed to go into it. When that happens, we say, count the girls. You may have 15 youth in your program, 10 of them are girls, 5 of them are boys, you report the girls, because that's what we're targeting on. But some places say you can only do this if you open it up to all. I get that. Club compliance, you need to make sure you check off all of the club compliances, because again, another one that's important. There's a new background check thing, because that's not who we did it with when I did mine.
Higher Image is who they started using this year. So kind of started using them a little bit into the last club year, and now SIA recommends Higher Image for doing your background checks. You don't have to use them, but if you want to go with who they recommend, that's who they recommend, but you are free to use other.
But there are,
And if your organization, like we work with Douglas County, they require their sheriff to do the fingerprints.
yes,
Then you just do that and he takes care of it.
Yes.
Because that's what they require. Okay.
right, and if they're in the school, if you're lucky enough that the school says, you can come in and do this at the school. Pahrump Valley got put into the schools on a study hall. It was all girls, so we ended up inviting the 2 study hall teachers to join our club. And they presented the curriculum. And they got their background checks through the school, so that worked out really nicely. But
We actually paid for their membership.
yes, we did.
We actually paid for their membership to encourage them and to thank them for the work that they were doing. One of them ended up retiring, actually both ended up retiring, and one of them moved away and the other one joined our club.
And she's still
And she
helping
pays
with the
her own.
program.
And now, guess what? She's our agreement bid.
For the club, so yeah, there's many ways to do that. Okay, so like I said, the background checks are important. It keeps the girls safe, it keeps you safe. Yeah.
Excuse me,
Yes.
excuse me, the background checks, do those have to be done each year? If you were in it one year and then did that?
According to SIA, they say follow what your state or county recommends. So some areas it's every year, some it's every 3 years, 7 and 10. So SIA, because they have an umbrella insurance that we have to meet their guidelines on, the maximum amount of time between background checks is 10 years. So if somebody in your club got one 11 years ago, they have to redo it after 11 years. But if your local area says that they require it every 3 years or something, then you guys have to do it every 3 years.
What agency is that?
If you go to any of your state websites that end with .gov, you can usually find the information listed about background checks and security and that kind of stuff on there.
So, it's always good to give the girls a participant certificate, for completing their course. Now, you can download it off of SIA, put the girl's name in it. A couple other things that have been done. Have goodie bags for the girls that have, go to your businesses, get pens, pencils, cell phone, those little wallet sticky things that go on the back of their cell phone. Anything you can get. We have in Crump, they just did, the girls were all kind of bummed because they're doing Dream and Be It, but they weren't part of the Activities Friday, where all the activity club, the baseball players, the football players, the choir, they all had t-shirts. So we let the girls design some shirts, we put the Dream and Be It logo on them, and we bought the girls t-shirts. Because then they were proudly wearing those on Fridays with every other group out there. They felt like they were part of a group.
Awesome. So, just real quick on when you touched on that, because here's this particular group who wasn't a part of all the other stuff that's out there. Does your particular group, or do most clubs focus on the at-risk youth girls, or are you kind of going to the general population? Because we're having a hard time getting the volume.
It's gonna vary.
Okay.
It is gonna vary. If the school district is not receptive, go to parole and probation. They might have the kids that are, on parole, that they have to do certain things. Maybe they'll make them all come in on a Thursday afternoon or evening, and you can present this to them in one of their offices.
But you do open it, generally speaking, to the general student
Yeah,
population?
yes.
Okay.
Elko County, when Elko did their first one, they approached the school district. And the school district said, you know what, this sounds kinda neat. There were 2 high schools within 15 miles of each other. There's one in Elko and Spring Creek, like over the hill. So they said, we'll go ahead and let you do, we'll bus them to you. They bused in 25 from each school. There was such positive feedback. And this was when I was part of Elko, and I was the president when it went down. 2019, we had 150 girls attend a one-day seminar in Elko. They were bused in from Wendover, Oahe, Jackpot, Carlin, Elko. We had 150 girls that came in for this. And the school district was up for it because there was such positive feedback from the girls, because they would have to have a teacher come with them. They had to have their advisor or teacher. And they would sit there and watch these girls interact with other schools and the people up there on stage giving them pep talks. We had a gal by the name of Ruby. She's about this tall. She was Miss Sierra Leone, and she's an engineer out in one of the mines. And she brought in a pair of work boots, and she was wearing, I don't know how she walked in them, they were about that tall. And the girls just immediately were like, wow, she could do it. And she came from Warren, Sierra Leone. And so she actually got the Ruby Award from Elko, and she has gone on to, this last year, she got the Miss Elko and Miss Elko Teen pageant going, and then she it wasn't an emphasis on bathing suits and all that stuff. It was an emphasis on the things to move forward, which was really nice. So you can work with anybody at any group, youth groups from the churches. Older Girl Scouts might be able to make that into their, some of their badges. It just depends on who's receptive to you when you approach them, and approach them all. Because you never know who you're gonna get that's gonna be, like I said, Pahrump was gladly able to put us into the school, and that was so nice, because that's not a separate day, it's not where, if the parents can't take them, oh, they're not coming, they were there, they were front and center at school. Yeah. All right, so when you finish your project, you must report it. It's very important to report it. And you should try and get the report done within a month, but you have until June 30th of that year to get it reported, because sometimes clubs have other things that come up and you're trying to get it done. My thing though is report it right away.
I understand if you do like a day program, you do the report. We've been doing once a month with a session each time.
Yes.
Do we wait until the very end to
Yes.
report it? Okay.
Yeah, you don't wanna report after each session, because they're gonna go, what's going on, are we getting, are they doing it every month and they're giving, a new set of girls? We want the accurate count, so yeah, once you do that once a month and it's those 7 are done, then report it.
Don't you have it in by June 30th?
Evaluation or whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm not asking them to fill out the same evaluation every month.
No, at the end of the thing. All right, so are there any questions for either of them? Okay, let's see, Amy, live your dream questions first.
So Billie, I saw, the list reiterated about the rules, about the applicants, their qualifications. Is that the entirety of all of the rules and requirements?
So, I'm glad you asked.
And the reason I asked specifically is because we have a new member, and this, as far as I know, never came up. She's going to be inquiring as well, who's the chair. But our membership is, we have a lot of guests every week. And this last week, at our first meeting, when this guest heard about the Live Your Dream and we were chatting about it, she said, oh, I might want to apply for that. And I said, I just thought, well, we will find out whether or not you can be a member or not. Maybe you don't want to wait if that's a limitation. And nothing on the requirement said so.
Yes, so that is in my long thing, and I skipped over so we have time for Elaine to get into her joke yet. So I'm glad that you asked, so we could follow up a little bit more on that.
Okay.
Yes, so they need to be, like we said, enrolled currently or have been accepted into an educational program, whether it's high school or college, as long as it's undergraduate, not a
It's just
graduate
about
program.
membership.
So, under that as well is the financial need. Is that person the head of household? And then the other thing is, have they won an award in the past? And then the bottom point on there, if you go online and you download all of this and look at it, is gonna be, are they a member? They're disqualified.
Yeah.
Are they a relative of a member?
Oh.
They're disqualified.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they related? And they consider relations, partner, spouse, child, could be by adoption.
Okay.
So grandparent is in your club or another Soroptimist club. They don't even have to be related to the person in your club directly. Are they related to another Soroptimist?
Oh,
Like immediately related.
well,
Like
that's,
my niece somewhere else, just because she's not in our club, but she's over in somebody, she'll apply, she can't, if I'm in Pahrump, she can't apply for Culver City.
that's too bad, but thank you for answering.
Yeah, so here's the exact verbiage I found it
No,
from
no, that's
notes.
all right.
It says Soroptimists, employees of Soroptimists, members of Soroptimist sponsored groups, and immediate family members of Soroptimists are ineligible for the award. Previous recipients are also ineligible. Immediate family is defined to include parents, siblings, children, grandchildren, spouse, partner, adoption, blood, or by marriage. So if you have a young lady who is excited about joining Soroptimists, don't let her join if she wants to apply for this. Wait till she gets a chance to receive an award and then have her come back and join the following club year.
Yeah.
But we always encourage all of our awardees, whether it's the Live Your Dream Award or a different scholarship that we give out from our club, we always encourage them to come back and join us as club members.
Thank you.
And if not at this time in their life, but in the future, yes.
Do we go to DIBI now?
Do we have any more Live Your Dream
I
first?
do. So, they talked about, Give Her Wings at SIA. Was that a local, program, or is that a new Soroptimist program? And it was the same as the Live Your Dream, except with the woman didn't have to have children.
That's gonna be something new coming down the line that we really haven't.
Okay,
Yeah, that one hasn't been really released.
okay, all right.
And that might fall under the Uplift Her, which there's gonna be that Zoom training on that coming out. Yes.
Okay, so we have a brand new club member who stepped in to be Live Your Dream chair. So she read through the whole toolkit from beginning to end. And she read through the part when you are determining who's gonna be reading the applications and judging who gets the award. And there was something in there about using judges that are outside the club. Okay, can you say more about that? Because suddenly, this was like, whoa, anyway, so.
So every club kind of does it, you know, according to how their club has always done it, you know how it goes. But change is good, right? And it's nice that you can pull in people outside your club, people in the community, people who maybe work for other women's organizations, maybe they work for a domestic violence organization, maybe somebody from the school, but you want people who don't know your applicants. That's the first thing, right?
Okay.
You don't want them judging applications for people that they know. You want impartial judges. So it is better if you can pull in other people from your community to look those over. And I know once we get them to the region level, we don't judge them, as members from Soroptimist. We pull in people from the different communities, other business women and women involved with other women and supporting women, so that we have non-biased judges.
Okay, so just for clarification, I just wanna make sure I'm hearing this right. So it's not a black and white rule, you're encouraging the judges to be, so there's not a rule that says members can't be judges. The basis of that is that the judges don't know the applicants.
That's the big thing.
I will say that I have not read in black and white that I can recall at this moment that it says anything about club members not being able to judge.
Okay, thank you.
But I will say that it does say in the online resources that they encourage you to get women from other areas in the community.
Thank you.
Because you may get members out of your judges.
Yes, good, very good point.
Just give them all
On the regional, are
That's a
judging
region.
by the lab
Sorry, I'll just say it a little bit louder, I can hear you still.
So at the region level, are the judges only looking at the application? Because we kind of struggled last year when we did meet the women we gave 6 awards to. Some are more, when you meet them in person, a little bit, they're fuller than their application gave them, if you will. But are you only judging by what they wrote? So you would want to pass like the strongest written application to the region level? I guess that's my question.
You send your top winner. Some clubs give more than one award. And so, Corum did last year.
But my question is the region only judging by
Yes.
the written application?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And that can't be changed?
So the region does not do interviews with these applicants.
No, we don't.
They are looking at that written application that was submitted, and you only send your top number one choice, one per club. So your club may give out 3, 4, 5 Live Your Dream Awards, but you only submit your top applicant to the region level. And then the region may have multiple awards that they give out, but they are only gonna send their number one top applicant to go up to the federation judging.
I don't know if they said it this year, but last year, I saw something that said, also watch for what you think is an application done by AI.
Yes.
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 Yeah,
Yes.
because you read some of them and you go, okay, this person's writing from the heart, and then you read another one and you go,
Yeah.
Yeah, they want you to let your applicants know not to use chatbot or any other type of artificial intelligence to write it. They want it in their own words.
Follow up on that question. Our group, we didn't have interviews in last year. We found that afterwards, they were so different that the group wanted to start doing interviews. What is the opinion on
I'm not
that?
sure there's anything on that.
So, my own club, they met with the girls, different times, different years, they'll meet with the girls and interview them and talk to them, and then other years, depending on who the chair is, they'll just go off the paper application strictly. But I know they always take the top ones off the paper to meet with. If you're not like one of the top 3 or 4, then they don't meet with them individually. But I think that's up to each individual club about how they want to do that.
It was gonna help our tiebreakers, because they were so equal.
Yes.
Yeah, and when you get that down, you might have 3 that, you're like, well, we're gonna award all 3, but which one's gonna be our top?
But we didn't know if it was against the rules, so yay, take that back.
I don't think it's against the
It
rules.
doesn't say no.
I have not read that in black and white anywhere as of yet. If I do, I will let you know, but there's a lot of information online, and if you use all these different links and go, I strongly encourage all of you to go to these links and read it, because there's so much more information than we could share with you today, and especially your chairs, and there's a whole toolkit that they can go through with all the steps. If it breaks it down, it makes it really easy so that they can follow it step by step by step.
And I gotta say, our chair was absolutely incredible the last 2 years doing these toolkits, and we ended up with 15 all equally as good as the rest. And we were scraping to get 2 a year.
Yeah.
So it made a big difference in the last 2 years.
Did you share your leftover applications
We
with
did,
other clubs?
and we had an awardee come up for the first time.
Yay!
Are you gonna add to the application online? Please don't use the AI.
I believe it's on their application.
Yeah.
Yeah, under the,
I think it's on the,
Rules and
the
regulations.
application portal.
oh, and another thing I wanted to point out, which we kind of skipped over in my notes for the sake of time, I didn't know if we'd have enough time to talk about it. They made some changes on the application for Live Your Dream, and we're able to do the totals for you. So let's say they have $1,000 a month rent, they don't have to try to add it all up, they'll just put in $1,000, and how often they pay it, monthly, whatever, and it'll total up for them. When it comes to, do they have other scholarships? Same thing, they put it in, and then they'll put, if they get them, once a year, or every semester, or whatever, it'll total up. Expenses, they don't have to sit there and add them all up themselves anymore, they just plug it in, and it'll total it all up. So all that is gone automated for them. Any other questions before I pass it over to Dream Review? Yeah?
Okay. Yes.
I was hoping we could maybe share success stories as far as, doing a full day workshop or multiple workshops.
Okay.
We tried both.
You've tried both?
Yeah, the first time I was involved, we had a full day on Saturday, and we had 4 girls show up. And then we went to the school, now the last 2 years I've chaired it, we've been to a continuation high school. And we've done it once a week for 4 weeks. And, so we do 2 subjects each time. I just think, I wonder if girls will give up a whole Saturday, or do they do it at night for 8 hours, or how do you do a 1 day?
Yeah.
We did a 1 day.
On
Hey,
Saturday?
On a Saturday,
Yeah.
yeah.
We had 12.
You can
12
do
girls, yeah.
whatever fits your
I
community.
just wondered, yeah.
Some like trying to get the 1 day because you get the girls, you've got them there, you get it in, you get it done. Some who are required to go to a certain time every week and you've got them that are captive audience. So you can break it up. I will also say this, it has changed. You only need to do one of the curriculum this year to be counted as a Dream It, Be It program, which really surprised me. I think what the problem was is people were starting and they'd start with a group and then they dwindle out like, so I think they are trying to make it so that they hit those girls with one curriculum, and you can find the one that works best for you, and you can, work it to those girls that, if you go into Pearl and Probation. Something that might be real important to those girls is learning how to set goals and overcome obstacles. So because they're already trying to overcome an obstacle.
Yes.
And they need that extra help, and those might be the ones that fit best for them.
So this lady did have a one day?
So, we started off with 34 girls, the first year we did it.
And what,
And
and
we
was
did
it a
it,
weekday?
we did it on 2 Saturdays. Last year, we did it at a continuation high school, and we ended up with only 4 girls, we did it on a Saturday. This year, we are actually gonna be, it's gonna be an on-campus field trip
There you go.
for the girls at the continuation high school. So, they don't have to go anywhere, it's during their school day,
And it's one day?
one day.
And do you still need parent permission for that?
Yes.
Yeah, you go into the schools and you get it, either the district or the school. We were lucky. Karen, who is the deputy chair now, she works for the school district down there in Pahrump for Nye County, and she was able to talk to them, and we got it into the study hall. I'll let Linda think she's more involved in it.
A lot of you, the schools don't have a study hall necessarily. This year, they're doing a women's study class.
Yeah.
They will have boys and girls in there, and they'll probably be a lot of boys. But I just wanted to say, it's not limited to just a study hall. Go to your school and say, hey, do you have any kind of women's study group or study classes? We would like to present this there.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to make that clear, and I don't know if you talked about it, what we did at the end of the year.
No, I did not yet.
You want me to say?
Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the things that we did, at the end of the year, it was kind of like that carrot to make sure that they do all of their things and the classes that they were supposed to do, even though they were supposed to be there. At the end of the year, we had a field trip for the girls.
Oh.
They got to wear t-shirts, which they loved, and we took them to the court system, which we happen to have a Soroptimist that is a judge that welcomed them into her court. They got to see a sentencing. A lot of stuff, so they actually got to sit in the actual, jury box and listen to all that was going on. So we took them to the courthouse, we took them to our Valley Electric Company, and they got to see the whole grid.
Oh, wow.
In this super private room that they never let anybody in type of room.
We also have a member that's on their board.
Well, we now have a board member, yeah. And then we have a thing called Spring Mountain Motorsports out there, which is the largest racetrack in the United States. It's privately owned.
Largest road course, yeah.
And so they got to sit in the Corvettes, they got to be part of the track and the whole thing there too. So that, if you can make that happen, and guess what? The school paid for the transportation for us, so that didn't cost us anything. The Spring Mountain Motorsports paid for our lunches. Last year, they paid for that. So literally ended up costing us next to nothing.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, so I would recommend that carrot at the end of the year, if you can possibly do that.
We did something with gift cards, but tell us about all of that. I mean, we don't want to give everybody's time, but I mean, it's really good feedback.
The incentives that you can give to these girls to keep them in or something. I mean, you know, you can go to your banks, your hospitals, any of these places and ask them to help sponsor. Can you sponsor the t-shirts for us? The full day thing we did, we had somebody that sponsored a continental breakfast when the girls first got there. And then we brought in and had a sponsor for lunch, and we had a Mexican buffet, and oh my God, you'd think they were just in heaven. And then we had outside, we had the college set up on it, so that in between things, they could talk to the college. We had some of the gold mines up there, had booths so that they could talk. I want to come do this, or this is what you need to do. And the girls are like, oh, I can do this. By the time they got done with that class, they're like, I can do this. I can be more than a mommy. I can do more than work just fast food. And there's nothing wrong with that, but we want these girls to aspire, to achieve their fullest potential, and that's what this is about. That's what Dream It, Be It is all about. You can do this. It might take a little work, there might be a couple of backward steps, but you can do it, and we are here to tell you you can. Bring in mentors, do job shadowing, you know. Right.
I wanted to comment what our club does too with the Dreamer Field, which we've gone through confluence at the local high school, which you kind of guarantee your audience.
Yeah.
Because we were trying different things and things would get canceled and they wouldn't show up. And we tried that Saturday thing and we had one person that signed up, which then we just canceled it. But when you have the audience that's captivated and they can't leave, that's perfect. But, you know, you got to But what happened was our club worked out a great relationship with the high school, with the students, and then it's starting to grow more this year. But then what we did was we added these young ladies to scholarships that we do. So it is specific for them, and I can't remember what the criteria was, just that they participated in the program. They didn't have to be, and they were a senior getting ready to graduate, but that was it. And then hopefully they had a desire to go on to JC, because we could only, in the school for the confluent students, they can only go to a JC, they can't go to a 4-year. That's their rule, so it was very JC, but that's a nice little, and these girls, just like what, I think it was Elaine that was mentioning how the lady that ran the Dream It Be It program, she was at a local event, and one of the young girls that was in that program saw her and was almost in tears, so happy to see her, introduce her to her mom. It was just very emotional, so it's
And the girls they'll wanna take selfies with some of you, and it's okay, cause they're keeping it. And then you have parents who get a hold of you and say, you don't know what this class did to my daughter. She is just like now overturned. Other things you can do is you can have her scholarship to a senior girl that goes through it. You know, I mean, ask them to write an essay on what they learned. The foster care program, because they age out at the end of high school at 18, that's another great group to do this to because they've been bounced around maybe.
Okay, it's 2:30, so one more question.
You're talking about groups. The McKinney-Vento group is, that's a federal law that is providing supports to children who are unhoused. And oftentimes these high schoolers and grade schoolers, they are not living in a car under a bridge, but they are living on friends' sofas.
They're couch surfing, yep.
So McKinney-Vento, it's a great program. Most of the time it runs through your county office of education.
We have the next session trying to come in so that they can set up. So if you have questions, I highly encourage you, you can talk to Elaine, and you have Karen's information on the slides. Stop us, ask us questions. If we don't know the answer, we'll try to get it